with the 5X.
I was on Google,
And then
but I
one of
wasn't
them
on the New
mentioned
York
it.
Times.
We have another like
And
standard
I
work,
had a
like
different
process
word.
and procedure that might be good on interruption.
I was still
Alright,
on the
cool.
old.
Just
Yeah, I
postpone
think,
it.
well, I think that it's
It
more
was
aligned. When I was, because I was reading this today to kind of like
Still
prepare
couldn't
for
go on
the day,
there.
and I was like, oh, it's the wrong one.
Yeah, I was kind of
Because
like,
I-
you're
I
right, connection,
told
she's
Andrew
right,
Yeah,
but I'm
I
good to
looked
go.
it up.
No, but they
And
actually
showed
specifically
me his
mention
word,
it,
I'm like,
and
that's
so
not the
there's like
word I
another
had.
document for these ones that.
So then
so
I
it'll be
Googled
three.
it,
So,
and I think it
yeah,
was the
sorry.
day they.
Is that what you were loading here?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Even on Tuesday, my car driver, we're gonna do this next
No, that's
No,
when
that'll
they
be good
switched
anyway though,
from
because
the
then
old
Michael
company
won't be
to
here
the
for
Oh,
the
the
full time.
full-time?
Remember, he's leaving early for that meeting with Greg,
Okay, cool.
so he can help me
I had
facilitate.
Alright,
three
It works out.
letters in the
Actually.
right place today, but I
Then when I
couldn't
was
figure out
rereading it,
the
I was like,
word
I think
till
I asked her
6.
for the wrong one.
It wasn't like I spent a lot of time on this, we had this
Okay.
pre-baked anyway,
Okay,
so.
cool. Well, it'll be for, we'll do that on,
okay.
the March meeting.
Okay, good, that works.
I'm sure.
Hey Donna, don't let me forget to bring this back, cause I will forget. But if I tell someone, then I won't forget.
Happy birthday, Charmaine!
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Today's the day, what time were you born?
Ah, I don't remember.
You don't. Cause it's not officially your birthday till that time, that's my rule.
It's the moment I woke up this morning.
Mine is
That's
like,
what I'm celebrating.
I celebrate from the like 12:01
I
the
had,
night
like,
before, like you have to eat your full 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what my
I
problem was.
do
kept
do like this,
trying a
but I'm
word,
always
and
like,
I'm
I'm not,
oh
I'm
damn,
year
that's not
older.
it.
$350, which continues to accrue.
Hello? Good morning, Jose Sargusti, building inspector for the city, presented the case number read. Building demolition permit 22020016 submitted on February 15, 2022. The case is not complying, but I am going to let the respondent to speak.
Complied or not complied?
It's not comply,
Not complied. All right.
and the city is requesting to stop the fines on 28 days extension.
All right. Sir, if you'll speak right to the microphone, you can move it upward. Okay.
Yes, I'm
State
doing
your
it.
name, please. Your name.
My name is John Brown.
Okay, Mr. Brown, tell me what's happening here.
I've been into the city for almost 2 years now to get the permit for the new building to be built or whatever. I just recently, we resubmitted the plans on the 15th for the final corrections. I got a hold and talked to a Mike Maloney with the city. He said he's going to assist with the examiners. We've been signed off on the majority, but there's a few things left to get signed off, and he's going to assist us. I wanted to wait to demo the building till I was for sure that we would get the permit issued. I talked to the inspector, and he said, go ahead and apply for the demo permit, which I did on the 15th. I have a permit number, and as soon as we get the permit, we'll demo the building and start building the new eight-unit building.
All right. Well, currently you're not in compliance, so once you come into compliance, we can review the situation. Did you want to add anything, Ms.? Okay. So for right now, I really have no option other than to impose the fines, and they'll continue to accrue. I guess
Your
I
Honor,
could stay the fine.
the inspector asked for a
Let's-
stay
okay.
of 28.
Let's grant a 28-day extension.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to grant a 28-day extension and stay the fines as of this date.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Our next case is on, excuse me, on page 32, Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 6265 Bay Club Drive, owner Bay Colony Club Condo, Inc., case number BE 21090253. This case was first heard on 10/14/21 to comply by 1/12/22. 3 sections not complied at $50. City is requested to impose the full amount of $5,250, which continues to accrue.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Inspector Martinez, representing the city. Permit to repair the damaged pin was issued on February 14 of 2022, but I will allow Denise to speak, which is the account manager.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. State your name, please.
My name is Denise DiMartini. I'm the property manager for Bay Colony Club.
All right, go ahead.
On the October 14th meeting, unfortunately, I was not able to be here. I was on an airplane on the way to a family funeral, and one of our board members appeared. We were told that she reported to me at that time that we had a 90-day extension, which would have brought us to January 14th, but a 90-day extension in which to file the permit. The permit was actually filed on January 5th. It was not approved until January 21st. The reason that it wasn't picked up was because the original set of plans, the homeowner was absolutely not happy with. It was really an extensive, overly extensive repair design. So the reason the permit wasn't picked up was because we knew we were going to file an extension.
An extension, no, a revision.
I'm sorry, a revision.
Okay. All right, so you're requesting an extension today?
Well, we're requesting a stay of the fines where we would like to know when the fines started to accrue
Well, you're 35 days ago.
at $50 a day,
I'm sorry,
at $50 a day.
at $50 a day on each count.
Oh, how many counts?
3.
Oh,
Your Honor, what she's trying to ask, and as our conversation
Thank you.
yesterday, she would like to request an extension because although the permit was issued, they are submitting a revision. Okay, and the city won't oppose to that. I mean, we can extend, give it an extension, stopping the fine, adding another 63 days for them to complete the revision and get the plans approved.
How many days?
63 would be fine?
All right, okay. I'm going to grant a 56-day extension, stay the fines as of this day. Okay, somewhere there's not good communication, so.
yeah, I wasn't, yeah, I
Three
did
counts. You need to talk to,
to the inspector.
yes.
Okay,
All right, thank you, ma'am.
all right.
Our next case is on page 35. Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 2730 Southwest 19th Street. Owner, Daphne C. and Gerard M. Diofe. Case number CE 1906-1352. This case was first heard on 11/12/19 to comply by 12/24/19. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $18,350, which continues to accrue. Fine suspended as noted.
Jose Sargusti, building inspector for the city, presented the case number as read. Building alteration remains awaiting client reply since October 10th, 2021. The case is not complied. I am going to leave the respondent to speak. The city is asking for stop the fines and requesting to the owner to come in compliance in 28 days.
I'm sorry, repeat your request.
Stop the fines to the owner and 28 days to comply.
Okay, I notice she's got previously, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extensions. So, ma'am, state your name and tell me what the problem is.
Good morning, it's Stephanie Mayorga with Stephanie Toothaker's office on behalf of the property owner. There have been several delays with the after-the-fact permit issuance. Initially, it was because we had to obtain a variance approval. Now it is because the property owner had to engage a new contractor and a new roofer again to take over the in-progress permits. So we would appreciate an extension of time of 35 days if possible. If not, we're very happy with 28 days to finalize the permitting process.
Okay,
Inspector, I thought you said that the permits were waiting to be picked up.
Sorry, again?
Did you say the permits were waiting to be picked up?
No, I'm waiting client reply.
So they're
We have
not issued.
corrections.
They are not issued.
So they're not, the permits aren't issued.
For the patio cover, it's just, we're down to one violation only now.
There were 4 permits, 3 of them, they are issued, and 1 is pending. They are working now with
Yes.
a new contractor to pull the permit.
So the permits are issued?
There, 3 of them, we're down to just 1 for the patio cover, and it's in progress, but we have a new team. So we would
This has
appreciate
been
it.
going on for a very long time. I'm gonna grant a 28-day extension. And, I mean, this is in the record book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like, 5, this is your 6th extension. And I'm gonna grant a 28-day extension. I want a mandatory reappearance on the March 17th agenda.
Thank you,
All
Your
right, I
Honor.
want this matter taken care of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 32. Inspector Jorge Martinez, property address 432 Southwest 8th Ave. Owner Robert C. Swindle, case number CE 201-20121. This case was first heard on 8/19/21 to comply by 9/30/21. Fine suspended as noted. 1 section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $3,750, which continues to accrue.
Inspector Martinez for the city. The city at this moment, this case is complied, and the city is requesting to reduce the fines to $480.
All right, okay, state your name for the record, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. This is Roya Edwards with Stephanie Toothaker's office. I'm representing the property owner.
Okay,
Yes, we agreed to have the fines reduced to $480 to the administrative fees.
all right. The amount of the fine is
$480.
$480. Okay, $480 imposed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next case is on page 33. Property address 436 Southwest 8th Ave. Case number CE 201-20122. Owner Robert C. Swindle. This case was first heard 5/20/21 to comply by 7/22/21. Fine suspended as noted. 1 section not complied at $50. City is requested to impose the full amount of $6,950, which continues to accrue.
Inspector Martinez for the city. The city, this case is complied. The city is requesting for the fines to be reduced to $480.
All right, again, state your name for the record, please.
Yes, Roya Edwards with Stephanie Toothaker's office representing the property owner. We agreed to have the fines reduced to $480, the administrative cost.
All right, $480 is imposed. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much.
Our next case is a new business case. Chief George Oliva, property address 3050 Northwest, I'm sorry?
Page.
Oh, 24, sorry. Our next property address 3050 Northwest 60th Street. Owner Home Value Holdings LLC. Case number BE 2109-0187. Notice posted at the property on 1/14/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
I'm sorry.
Good morning, Your Honor. Chief George Oliva, on behalf of the city, presenting case and address as read. This is a 40-year inspection requirement, and the city is requesting 42-day extension for the property owner to submit the report and $100 of fine thereafter.
All right, find the violation exists, and the request is, oh, ma'am, oh, you're here on this case?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. State your name for the record, please.
Tusha Santu. I'm the mother of
Anything
Phjj.
you want to add?
I already have the permit, and I just have to submit it. I already have all the paperwork, so it's just ironic.
Okay, so you're moving toward compliance?
Yeah, I already completed. It's just I have to submit it. I didn't have a
All
chance
right.
to submit it.
Okay,
I have all the copies.
very good. Hopefully you'll get it done within the time limit and we'll not have any problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 34. Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 1132 Northwest 5th Court. Owner Phjj Investments LLC, case number BE 20050298. This case was first heard on 8/19/21 to comply by 9/30/21. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $6,950, which continues to accrue.
Good morning, Jose Sargusti, building inspector for the city, presenting case number as read. The permit remain expired since November 28, 2021. The case is not complying. I am going to let the respondent to speak.
Hello, my name is Jason Milrad.
I'm sorry.
The city is asking to stop the fines and requesting the owner to come in compliance within the next 56 days, or a fine of $50, 56 days, sorry.
Hello, my name is Jason Milrad, the owner of the property. And yes, as long as he can give me the 56 days, I can come into compliance. I could start the permit.
Okay, so a 56-day extension and stay the fines as of this date.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 30. Property address 665 Riverland Road. Inspector Alexander Alvarez. Owner Sunny Davy Plaza LLC. Case number BE 200-80125. This case was first heard on 4/15/21 to comply by 6/17/21. One section complied at $50. Total fines $8,900. City's requesting administrative cost of $212.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Inspector Maddock, presenting Inspector Alvarez for the city for the address and case as read. This case came in compliance, and city is asking to reduce the cost to administrative fee of $212.
All right. Okay, ma'am, if you'll state your name for the record.
Yes, sir. My name is Tony Pompa, and I'm the project manager of this, and we do accept the mitigated fees.
All right, we're going to impose administrative cost $212.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
212.
212.
Is there a respondent here for 3200 North Port Royal Drive? Anyone here for that? 3200 North Port Royal Drive. Okay, I'll just skip over that. Our next case is on page 13. Chief George Oliva, property address 1000 West Sunrise Boulevard. Case number BE 21090298. Owner Sunrise Broward Investments, Inc., in care of G. Frank Posada, Esquire. Notice posted at the property on 1/14/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Inspector Maddock, presenting the case for Chief George Oliva. The required safety inspection report has not been approved, and city is asking for a 42-day extension or 100 days thereafter to come in compliance.
Okay. A 28-day extension?
42.
42-day extension. All right. Sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Nicholas Alonso on behalf of Casal Valdez for the owner. They're moving towards compliance, and we agree to the 42-day extension.
All right.
Thank you.
I find the violation exists 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter. Thank you.
Our next case is on page 14. Chief George Oliva, property address 1100 West McNabb Road. Owner Clark Ohio Associates, Inc., case number BE 21090302. Notice posted at the property on 1/8/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
I'm sorry, Tasha, can you read address again?
1100 West McNabb Road.
Okay. Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Maddock represented the case for Chief George Oliva. The city's the report was submitted, but it failed. 180 days extension is asked, or 100 days thereafter to come in compliance.
All right, just state your name for the record, please.
Harry Winderman, Weiss Handler in Cornwall, on behalf of the property owner. We concur.
All right, so ordered.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 19. Chief George Oliva, property address 1832 Middle River Drive, owner Coral Ranch Properties LLC, case number BE 21090212. Notice posted at the property on 1/17/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Suarez presenting for Chief Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days and a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
All right, sir, if you'll speak into the microphone and state your name, please.
Good morning. My name's Chris Williams. I'm the owner of the property.
All right, anything you'd like to add?
I do have the inspection finally scheduled with a right inspection company on the 28th of this month, so that should be fine.
All right, okay. For the record, I found the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 4. Chief George Oliva, property address 16 Northeast 8th Ave, owner Lisa M. Totino, case number BE 2110004. Notice posted at the property on 1/19/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Good morning, Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. City is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report within the next 42 days or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
Okay, anyone on behalf of the owner?
Is that respondent here for 16 Northeast 8th Avenue? Okay.
Okay, I found the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
One moment. Our next case is on page 34. Inspector Jose Sargusti, property address 15 Southwest 7th Street, case number BE 21010032, owner Gunter LLC. This case was first heard on 7/15/21 to comply by 8/26/21. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $5,150.
Jose Sargusti, Building Inspector for the city, presented case number as read. Sorry. The case is complied. The city is requesting administrative fees of $304.
Okay, the city's request is
$304. $304.
$304. Okay, all right, sir, if you'll state your name for the record.
Santiago Callejas.
There's no more of these?
Okay. The city's requesting that the fines be reduced from $5,150 to, I guess, administrative cost of $304. I'm going to order that done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 16. Chief George Oliva, property address 1300 Northwest 65th Place. Owner, Kearney Holdings LLC. Case number BE 21090223. Notice posted at the property on 1/8/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Morning, Your Honor. Inspector Maddock presenting case for Chief George Oliva for the city, for the address and the case as read. The report was submitted, but it failed. And city's asking for extension of 180 days to comply with the case or $100 a day thereafter.
All right, sir, if you'll state your name for the record.
Yes, good morning. My name is Patrick Kearney. I'm the owner of the property. Just for the record, we engaged an engineer on 7/31 of last year. He just turned the report in, and we didn't have the opportunity to see the report or we would have been in compliance immediately.
Okay, so for the record, we'll find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply.
Very good.
$100 per day thereafter.
Do I have to reappear?
I'm sorry?
Would I have to reappear?
Not if you comply. I'm not ordering a mandatory reappearance.
Very good, thank you.
Our next case is on page 33. Inspector Jorge Martinez, property address 2665 Middle River Drive, owner Park Ridge Apartments Condo Association, Inc. Case number CE 201-00695. This case was first heard on 8/19/21 to comply by 9/23/21. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $2,750, which continues to accrue.
Inspector Martinez for the city. Case is not in compliance. The city is requesting a 63-day extension.
I'm sorry, say again.
63-day extension.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, if you'll state your name for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Tara Patton. I'm the agent on behalf of the Park Ridge Condominium Association. I appreciate Inspector Martinez's help with giving us the time we need to pull the appropriate permits to be in compliance. However, I'm a little paranoid and want to make sure we have sufficient time, so I know he's given us 63 days. I would like to ask for 90 if that's possible.
Well, let's do 63. If you can't get it done by then, you can speak to him and formally request an extension.
Okay.
63 days.
And assuming that we are able to satisfy that within the time frame, do we need
Yes,
to?
the fines are stayed as of this date.
And we don't need to come back?
Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Our next case is on page 19. Chief George Oliva, property address 1534 Southeast 15th Street, owner EGE Holdings LLC, case number BE 211-00068. Notice posted at the property on 1/25/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Suarez presenting for Chief Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days and a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
All right.
Good morning. My name is Alex Penaranda. I'm the property manager. We took over, we changed, our client bought this property on January 18. So we just have a short notice of this, to knew about this violation. So we start working on it, and the engineer has passed the inspection. So he's ready to submit all the paperwork to comply.
All right, okay. I'm going to find the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 32. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 2537 Tortugas Lane, case number BE 2102-0073. Owner Linda L. and Raymond Piccolo Family Revocable Trust, and all others. I'm sorry, this case is closed.
Case is closed, yeah.
Is there anyone here for 2537 Tortugas Lane? The case is closed.
She left the fines. I would like to adjust it to administration cost of $230.
The case is closed. The case is closed. Our next case is on page 7. Chief George Oliva, property address 400 Northeast 15th Avenue. Owner Scott R. Morris, case number BE 211-00007. Notice posted at the property on 1/15/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Can you repeat the address?
400 Avenue.
400. Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The required safety inspection report has not been approved. City is asking for the property owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right to the microphone and state your name, please.
Scott Morris.
Anything you'd like to add?
I have retained a company to take care of this inspection, and they have it scheduled for late February and expect the report to be ready by March 4th.
All right, very good. Okay, for the record, I found the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 30. Inspector Hector Suarez, property address 401 Northwest 7th Terrace, owner Mount Hermon African Methodist Episcopal Church, Inc., case number BE 21070147. This case was first heard on 9/16/21. To comply by 10/28/21, one section complied at $50. Fines imposed on 12/16/21. City is requesting to vacate the order from 12/16/21 and to abate all fines.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Suarez presenting case as read. City is requesting to vacate order of 12/16/2021 and abate all fines for the record.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
I'm Pastor Henry Green III. I'm the pastor of Mount Hermon AME Church.
All right, do you understand what this gentleman said?
I understand it very well.
All right, excellent. I'm going to vacate the order of December 16th, 2021, and abate all fines.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 9, Chief George Oliva, property address 526 Northwest 15th Way, owner Noble Home and Property Management LLC, case number BE 211-00083, notice posted at the property on 1/18/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. City is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report within the next 42 days or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
Okay, I'll find the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Our next case is on page 11. Chief George Oliva, property address 771 Northwest 22nd Road, owner Franklin Jackson Corp., case number BE 211-00053, notice posted at the property on 1/14/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Maddock presenting the case for Chief George Oliva. The required safety inspection report has not been approved. The city is asking 42 days extension to come in compliance or $100 thereafter in fines.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right to the microphone and state your name, please.
Rochelle Franklin.
All right, anything you want to add to what this
I
gentleman?
came for an extension, so that's fine, sir.
All right, okay, 42 days and $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 1. Inspector, I'm sorry. Yes, our next case is on page 1. Chief George Oliva, property address 1500 Northeast 12th Street, case number BE 211-00310. Notice posted at the property on 1/18/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22. It's Nash's case. Well, George's case, but it's been presented by Nash. Should I call the next case, gentlemen? Okay.
I just wanted to make sure this is 1500 Northeast 12th Street.
Correct.
Good morning. Inspector Maddock presenting the case for Chief George Oliva for property in case as read. I visited this property on October 22nd, 2021, observed that new fence was installed along the swale of the property and multiple fence planks were replaced on the existing part of the fence. This property was cited for work without a permit under City Ordinance .9-1D. This case was opened on October 21st of 2021. Inspection report was mailed on October 22 of 2021. Final notice was mailed to the property owner on December 1st, 2021. Notice of hearing was posted at a property on January 18th, 2022. Current status of the case, no action has been taken by the owner to obtain the permit. We're asking Your Honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 28 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
All right,
Good
sir.
morning.
State your name, please.
Good morning, Magistrate. My name for the record is Christopher Coles, representing Pro Se as the respondent for property 1500 Northeast.
Anything you'd like to add?
Yes, Your Honor. I am the living natural man protected by universal law. I am protected by the land. I'm here by special visitation. I only understand the universal law and the right to live. Who is claiming that I am a government entity, employee, or agent, or perform some function of government at the time of the alleged offense? Your Honor, I motion the court to reject, I reject the offer and motion that the case be closed.
I'm sorry, why do you move that the case be closed?
Who is claiming that I'm a government entity? I do not contract. I have not offered into any agreement to contract. I am a universal man and only protected by the laws that God has set forth. Pursuant to Supreme Court case of Cruden versus Nell, the state citizen is immune from any and all government attacks and procedure. See Dred Scott versus Sanford. Or as the Supreme Court has clearly stated, every man is independent of all laws except those prescribed by nature. He is not bound by any institutions formed by his fellow man without his consent. Again, for the record, I reject the offer.
All right,
Well, this actually wasn't an offer, sir. You're required to get a permit for the installation of a fence.
Does the petitioner have the evidence with them that discloses this law applies to me? Okay. Does the petitioner have the evidence with him that discloses this law applies to me?
Okay.
Again, does the petitioner have the evidence with him that discloses this law applies to me?
All right.
Sir, we have agreement here. No one here believes that I'm a government entity or employee or that the complainant's law applies to me. What order does the law compel the court to make when the parties are in agreement?
All right.
When may I collect the court order?
Okay, are you finished?
When may I collect the court order? I immediately offer to settle and close all matters and offer to plead and pay upon proof of claim. Again,
okay.
I offer to settle immediately and close all matters, offer and plead and pay upon proof of claim.
All right, okay.
Again, I offer to settle and close all matters and offer to plead and pay upon proof of claim.
All right, I'm ready to rule. Having considered your arguments, your motions are denied. I find the violation does exist. 28 days to comply or $50 per day thereafter.
We will be motioning to challenge this judgment.
Your choice. Thank you. Next case.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 3. Inspector Leonardo Martinez. Property address 2621 Northeast 13th Court. Owner G.S. Leeward, LLC. Case number BE 211-10018. Notice posted at the property on 1/22/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Leonardo Martinez representing the city, case and address as read. I visited this property. Mr. Jacob, who was at the property at the time of my inspection, contacted the person in charge, named Mariano.
I'm sorry. Hang on a second, please. Let's back up. I was making notes. So, what page are we on?
Page 3 in the middle, 2621 Northeast 13th Court.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Inspector Martinez representing the city, case and address as read. I visited this property and Mr. Jacob, who was at the property at the time of my inspection, contacted the person in charge, named Mariano, who after I talked to him, he allowed me entrance into the property. While I was inside, I observed that the kitchen and bathroom were being remodeled. I posted on a stop work order, and the property was cited for work without permit on the Florida Building Code of 2020, Section 105.1. The case was opened and inspection report was mailed out to the owner on November 4th of 2021. The final notice was mailed out to the property owner on December 10th of 2021. The notice of hearing was posted at the property on January 22nd of 2022. The permit for renovation and bathroom and floors on Unit 4 was applied on February 11 of 2022. The permit is in process. We're asking your honor to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 91 days to come into compliance or fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
I'm sorry, how many days?
91 days.
All right, ma'am, if you'll state your name, please.
Good morning. My name is Daniela Leo.
Okay, anything you'd like to add?
No, we agree with the extension.
All right, I find the violation does exist. 91 days to comply and $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 30. Chief George Oliva, 545 East Campus Circle, owner, Southeastern Conference Association of SEV. Case number CE 11122131. This case was first heard on 11/7/13 to comply by 2/6/14. Fine suspended as noted. One section complied at $250. City is requesting to reduce fines to administrative costs of $1,275. Do I have a respondent? Oh, yes.
George, on behalf of the city, Your Honor, this case took a while, but they came into compliance. And the city is requesting the fines to be reduced to the administration cost of $1,275.
All right, sir, if you'll state your name for the record, please.
My name is Christopher Paul.
All right, you understand what this gentleman said?
Yes.
Okay, unless you have some objection, I'm going to reduce the fine to administrative cost of $1,275.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 4. Excuse me. Chief George Oliva, property address 8 Isle of Venice Drive. Owner, Cali Group, 8 Isle of Venice LLC. Case number BE 2109-0312. Notice posted at the property on 1/18/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The required safety inspection has not been approved. City is asking for the property owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
Okay. All right, ma'am, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Okay, Rose Kalitzas. I received this 2 weeks ago. Owners are out of country. I take care when they're not here. It's a small 5-unit building. I really received this about 2 weeks ago, so I haven't been able to. I didn't even know that there was an inspection.
All
Nobody ever contacted me, or the owners.
There was no inspection, ma'am.
Yeah,
You have to-
well, it says there's an inspector's name down here, George Oliva.
Yes, but there was no inspection.
Yeah, I'm
Get a-
trying to get an inspector. I'm trying to do what I have to. It's just I got this very late. So I just need time, you know?
Your Honor, George Oliva, in behalf of the city, we send the notification to the property owners. We have 90-day notice to comply. We send the notification to Broward County, property appraiser address. It's the responsibility of the owner to keep his address updated. If the address is not updated in Broward County, I'm very sorry, but the requirement from Broward County Board Rules on Appeal regarding the 40 years is mandated to the city to follow the rules. At this moment, the city would request the 42-day extension for the property owner to comply or $100 per day thereafter.
Okay. Whether you got prior notice or not,
I understand. It went first to the property changed hands in April. I researched it, it went to the old owners first, then it went to Michigan, and they were out of country. I received this 2 weeks ago.
Okay, all right, okay. I'm gonna find the violation does exist, 42 days to comply.
What's the violation?
Ma'am, listen to what I'm saying, and you'll get a written order in the mail. The violation does exist, 42 days to comply, or $100 per day thereafter. If you have any questions, the gentleman will be very happy to speak to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Our next case is on page 31. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 1440 Southeast 15th Street, 23. Case number BE 2103-0100. Owner, Inversiones Bezgratitude, LLC. This case was first heard on 8/19/21 to comply by 10/21/21. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $4,500, which continues to accrue.
Inspector Martinez, on behalf of the city, representing, case and others as read. The city doesn't support any extension at this time. I will let the defendant speak.
I'm sorry, the city,
Do not support any extension at this time.
all right. Okay, ma'am, speak right to the microphone and state your name, please.
Yes, my name is Sandra Miura. Good morning. I am the permit runner for the owners and contractor. We had corrections that needed to be addressed, and I've submitted the corrections to the city, so right now it's processing. So I understand that the city won't allow an extension, but I would like to request one because it's in the city's hands right now. So hopefully with these corrections, we would obtain the permit shortly.
Okay, well,
We can agree on maybe 28 days extension. I mean, the case was open on March 2021. We're gonna walk into a year with this problem. Okay, in 28 days?
Yes, I
Okay,
agree.
we're gonna,
okay, so there was a prior extension.
Yes, we had a prior extension.
Okay, and so the city's objecting to any further extension.
I mean, if within 8 days.
Have the permit soon. I submitted the
Oh, okay.
corrections, so we're just waiting for the city to revise and approve, and the permit should be issued. So 28 days is more than enough time.
Okay, ma'am, I'm gonna grant you a 28-day extension on the assumption that everything is gonna be taken care of. All right?
Correct. Thank you.
Grant a 28-day extension and stay the fines as of this date.
Thank you.
Get this corrected.
Our next case is on page 3. Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 401 Northeast 8th Street. Owner 401 Northeast 8th Street LLC, case number BE 211-10004. Notice posted at the property on 1/15/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Martinez, on behalf of the city, representing case and others as read. I visited this property and met with Diego, who is the tenant of Unit 403. Diego gave me access into the property. Inside the property, I observed that an opening in between Unit 403 and 401. That opening was done without permit. I also observed that they are extending their business and they will be using also Unit 401. Few days after, I received a call from one of the owners stating that the opening in between the units always was there. City record later set of approved drawings submitted on and approved on 2018 shows that the opening was closed with a fire-rated partition. The property was cited for work without permit and change of use under FBC 2020, Section 105.1. Permit for the change of use was applied on November 12th of 2021. The permit is in process. They're having some issues of occupancy, so far and so on. No permit application has been submitted for the opening located between the units, which was opening illegally. We are asking your owner to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner of 120 days to obtain the required permits to come into compliance, or fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Very Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Courtney Crush on behalf of the business owner. We would appreciate if Your Honor would consider the extension. Our client took over this operating business, which does have a site plan for both units. Apparently, the prior tenant in the building permit realm, ran into a fire and maximum occupancy issue. We would appreciate the time to work with the city and the fire reviewer to resolve it, which may involve sprinkling.
Okay, so for the record, I found the violation does exist, 120 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your
Thank you,
Honor.
Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 9, Chief George Oliva, property address 524, excuse me, Bayshore Drive, owner Bayshore Villa LLC, case number BE 21090267, notice posted at the property on 1/15/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report within the next 42 days or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor. Courtney Crush on behalf of the property owner. We would appreciate the 42 days. Our client has already engaged an engineer and will have the report in shortly.
All right, very good. I find the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Appreciate it, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 10, property address 527 North Birch Road, owner Beach House Villa LLC, case number BE 21090260, notice posted at the property on 1/15/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Zero 0620
Yes.
Antioch Avenue.
0260.
527 North Birch Road.
Oh. Good morning, Inspector Maddock presenting case for Chief George Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for 42-day extension or $100 a day thereafter.
Morning, Your Honor. Courtney Crush on behalf of the same property owner. We would appreciate the 42 days and have engaged an engineer.
All right, I find the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The next case is also on page 10, property address 528 Antioch Ave 1-6, owner Beach Garden Hotel LLC, case number BE 2110062, notice was posted at the property on 1/19/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Maddock presenting case for Chief George Oliva for the case and address is read. The required safety inspection report has not been approved. City's asking for extension of 42 days or $100 a day thereafter.
Your Honor, Courtney Crush on behalf of the property owner. We would appreciate the 42 days to complete this third inspection and submit it to the city.
I find the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time, this concludes all of our respondents. We'll go back to page 1 at the bottom. Property address 1700 Northwest 6th Place. Owner Mount Olive Gardens, number 1 Inc., in care of Triumph Housing Management, case number BE 21090317. Notice posted at the property on 1/12/22, posted at City Hall 2322. Inspector Alejandro Del Rio.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The report was submitted, but it failed. Cities requesting 180 days to complete the repairs or $100 per day thereafter.
I'm sorry, how many days?
180 days.
180 days or $100 per day?
$100, yeah.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Moving on to page 3 at the bottom, Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 5743 Northeast 17th Terrace, case number BE 2111001, owner Joseph Sandstrom, homestead exempted, Angela Sandstrom, and all others. Notice posted at the property on 1/17/22, posted at City Hall on 2/3/22.
Inspector Martinez representing the city, case and others as read. On November 1st of 2021, I was driving from a property where I posted a stop work order when I observed a pile of brick pavers placed on the roadway. When I stopped in to investigate, I observed that the pavers located in the rear of the property were in the process to being removed without permits. I met with the owner, Angela, and explained that I was issuing a stop work order. When in the office opening the case, I also observed the PVC fence around the rear of the property was recently installed and no permit was found in the city for that scope of work. The property was cited for work without permit on the Florida Building Code 2020, Section 105.1. This case was opened and inspection report was sent on November 1st of 2021. The final notice was mailed out to the property owner on December 6th of 2021, and the notice of hearing was posted in the property on January 7th of 2022. The permit for replacing brick paver was applied in November 2nd of 2021, and now the permit is completed and closed. After reviewing the case in December, I observed that no action were taken about the fence installed without permit, and I called the owner, Angela, just to make sure that they knew that the PVC fence was also a violation of the Florida Building Code. The owner was aware of it, but no permit hasn't been applied until today. So we're asking your owner to find that the violation exists and to grant the property owner 63 days to come into compliance of fines of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Okay, so 63 days.
Yes, sir.
I find the violation does exist. 63 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Moving on to page 4 at the bottom, Chief George Oliva, property address 124 Isle of Venice Drive, owner Claremont Wall Street LLC, case number BE 21090308. Notice posted at the property on 1/18/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. City is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist. 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 5, property address 200 East Sunrise Boulevard, owner Holman Automotive, Inc., DBA Lauderdale Imports, Ltd., case number BE 21090305. Notice posted at the property on 1/12/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Building recertification report was received but failed. City is requesting 180 days to complete the repairs or $100 per day thereafter.
Okay. I find the violation does exist. 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 205 Southwest 23rd Street, owner 12 Step House, Inc., case number BE 211-00085. Notice posted at the property 1/19/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. City is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
Okay. I find the violation does exist. 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 6, property address 312 Northeast 16th Terrace, owner SFLA 312 Northeast 16th Terrace LLC, in care of G&G Property Investment Group, case number BE 211-00010. Notice posted at the property on 1/15/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The report was submitted, but it failed. City is requesting 180 days to complete the repairs or $100 per day thereafter.
Okay. I find the violation does exist. 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 6 at the bottom, Property address 340 Southwest 21st Terrace. Owner, Blue Old Realty LLC. Case number BE 211-00078. Notice posted at the property on 12122, posted at City Hall 2322.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. Report was submitted, but it failed. City is requesting 180 days to complete the repairs or $100 per day thereafter.
I'm sorry, repeat the request.
180 days to complete the repairs or $100 per day.
Okay. I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 8, property address 475 Southeast 30th Street. Case number BE 211-00100. Owner, Local Equity 3 LLC. Notice posted at the property on 12522, posted at City Hall on 2322.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The report was submitted, but it failed. City is requesting 180 days to complete the repairs or $100 per day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 511 Bayshore Drive. Owner, Bayshore Towers of Fort Lauderdale, Inc. Case number BE 2107-0020. Notice posted at the property on 11522, posted at City Hall 2322.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. Report was submitted, but it failed. City is requesting 180 days to complete the repairs or $100 per day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 9 at the top. Property address 515 Northwest 14th Ave. Owner, Rebuild Foundation, Inc., in care of L.A. Lee Terrace Apartments. Case number BE 2109-0315. Notice posted at the property on 1/8/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Building Inspector Alejandro Del Rio for the city, presenting case as read. The report was submitted, but it failed. City is requesting 180 days to complete the repairs or $100 per day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Moving on to page 11, property address 723 Northeast 2nd Ave, case number BE 2109-0205. Owner, Tricera Flagler Uptown LLC. Notice posted at the property on 1/12/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Matic, representing Chief George Oliva, for the case and address as read. Report was submitted, but it failed. The city is asking for 180 days to come in compliance or $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 12, property address 826 Northeast 20th Ave. Owner, 7 Sheets, Inc. Case number BE 2109-0314. Notice posted at the property on 1/15/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Matic for Chief George Oliva for address as read. A report was submitted, but it failed. A city is asking for 180 days to comply or $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 905 North Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. Owner, DMS Holdings Sunrise, Inc. Case number BE 211-00002. Notice posted at the property on 1/22/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Matic for Chief George Oliva for the address and case as read. Report was not approved. City's asking for 42 days extension or $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 42 days to extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 922 Northeast 20th Ave, case number BE 2109-0313. Owner, Luigi and Lillian H. Totera. Notice posted at the property on 1/15/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Matty for Chief George Oliva for the case and address as read. Report was submitted, but it was not approved. City's asking for 42-day extension or $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist, 42-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 13 at the top, property address 940 Northwest First Street, owner J2911 Real Estate LLC, case number BE 211-00036. Notice posted at the property on 1/14/22, posted at City Hall on 2/3/22.
Inspector Matty for Chief George Oliva for the case and address as read. Report was filed, but it failed. City's asking for 180 days extension to comply with this case and or $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 14 at the bottom, property address 1133 North Federal Highway, case number BE 2109-0266, owner PMG Airport LLC. Notice posted at the property on 1/17/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Matty for Chief George Oliva for the case and address as read. The report hasn't been approved. City's asking for 42-day extension or $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 42-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 15, property address 1142 Northeast 6th Ave, owner GSD Holdings LLC, case number BE 2109-0097. Notice posted at the property on 1/13/22, posted at City Hall on 2/3/22.
Inspector Matty for Chief George Oliva for address and cases read. Case is not in compliance. Inspection report failed. City's asking for 42-day extension or $100 thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, grant a 42-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 1227 Northeast 9th Ave, owner Transforma Realty LLC, case number BE 2109-0086. Notice posted at the property on 1/13/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Matty for Chief George Oliva for the case and address as read. Report was filed, but it failed. City's asking for 180 days extension to comply or $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Property, page 16, property address 1231 Northeast 9th Ave, owner Transforma Realty LLC, case number BE 2109-0083. Notice posted at the property on 1/13/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Matty for Chief George Oliva for the address and cases read. Report was filed, but it failed. City's asking for 180 days extension to comply or $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, yeah, I find the violation does exist, 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 16 at the bottom, property address 1305 Northwest 65th Place, owner LCG 1958 LLC, case number BE 2109-0230. Notice posted at the property on 1/8/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Matty for Chief George Oliva for the case and address as read. Report was filed, but it failed. City's asking for 180 days extension to comply or $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist, 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Page 17 at the top, property address 1309 Northwest 65th Place, owner JMG 1994 LLC, case number BE 2109-0227. Notice posted at the property on 1/8/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Suarez presenting for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
All right, I find the violation does exist, 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 1332 Bayview Drive, Owner, Hawthorne Bay, Inc., case number BE 21090119. Notice posted at the property on 1/14/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A 180-day extension or $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist. 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 1424 Southeast 15th Street. Owner, Norwich Apartments Condo Association, Inc. Case number BE 211-00071. Notice posted at the property on 1/25/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist. 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address, on page 18, property address 1425 Northeast 56th Street. Owner, MPG FL LLC, case number BE 21090251. Notice posted at the property on 1/17/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Suarez presenting case for Chief Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days and a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist. 42-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
One moment, Your Honor. One moment, please. Okay, Your Honor. Thank you. Moving on to page
18.
20 at the top. Property address 1841 Northeast 45th Street. Owner, O&K Management LLC. Case number BE 21090252. Notice posted at the property on 1/17/22. Posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Suarez presented case for Chief Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days and a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist. Grant a 42-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 2000 West Commercial Boulevard. Owner, Commercial Boulevard Realty LLC. Case number BE 211-00089. Notice posted at the property on 1/22/22. Posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Suarez presenting for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A $180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist. 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Our next case is at the bottom of page 20. Property address 2000 East Oakland Park Boulevard. Owner, excuse me. Owner, 2000 Condo in care of Papa Lazaro. Case number BE 211-00101. Notice posted at the property on 1/22/22. Posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days and a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
I find the violation exists. 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Our next case is on page 21, property address 2156 Northeast 67th Street. Owner, Imperial Point Colonnades Condo, Inc., case number BE 21090245. Notice posted at the property on 1/17/22, posted at City Hall 2322.
Inspector Suarez presenting for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 22, property address 2661 Northwest 56th Street. Case number BE 21090294. Owner, City of Fort Lauderdale, in care of Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. Notice posted at the property on 1/14/22, posted at City Hall on 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presenting for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 2700 Southwest 25th Terrace. Owner, Universal Shipyard LLC. Case number BE 211-00090. Notice delivered via personal service to Maria Ramirez on 1/19/22. Posted at City Hall on 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist, grant a 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 23, property address 2835 Terramore Street. Owner, Winterset Villa LLC. Case number BE 21090270. Notice posted at the property on 1/15/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days and a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist, 42 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 24, property address 2957 West State Road 84. Owner, Westport LLC. Case number BE 21090237. Notice delivered via personal service to Greg Fick on 1/7/22. Notice posted at City Hall on 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presenting case for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
At the bottom of page 24, property address 3058 West Broward Boulevard. Owner, Glad Realty Corp. Case number BE 211-00072. Notice posted at the property on 1/20/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presenting for Chief Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days and a fine of $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist, 42-day extension is granted, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 25, property address 3132 Northeast 9th Street. Owner, 3132 Northeast 9th LLC. Case number BE 211-00003. Notice posted at the property on 1/22/22. Posted at City Hall on 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presenting for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist, grant a 180-day extension and $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 3200 North Port Royal Drive. Owner, The Tower at Port Royal Condo Association. Case number BE 211-00034. Notice posted at the property on 1/17/22. Posted at City Hall on 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed. A 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, a 180-day extension is granted, $100 per day thereafter.
Property address 3201 Bayview Drive. Owner, Bayview 32 Association, Inc. Case number BE 21090268. Notice posted at the property on 1/14/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presenting for Chief Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days and a fine of $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, 42-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Hector, one moment, please.
Okay.
Your Honor, we're gonna call, a case on page 34. The inspector has returned and there's a respondent here. Property address 1001 Arizona Avenue. Owner Rosalind Y. Jackson, case number BE 200-50224. This case was first heard on 7/15/21 to comply by 8/26/21. Fine suspended as noted. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $7,300, which continues to accrue.
Good morning. Jose Sargusti, building inspector for the city, presented case number as read. The case is not complying. I am going to let the respondent to speak.
Yes, good morning. I came before.
If you state your name, please.
My name is Rosalind Jackson, and I'm the owner. I came before you in November about the case. It was a case where a permit was open on a previous owner and left to expire. The permit was open in 2005 and it was closed in 2019. Okay, when I purchased the home, there was nothing stating that there was anything that I needed to do as far as that. They did the title search and all that. So, and a permit that was left to expire should have come up under the old owner. Okay, so that happened. When I came here in November, I was told by my inspector that I needed to go ahead and renew this permit or reopen it. And as far as what I thought that this was going to be a simple job, so when I went there, they told me that I needed an asbestos permit first. Okay, so then I applied for that. They were a little backlogged on that, so then they said, okay, you can check back in 7 days to see if we have that permit ready for you. So they did have it, but then in the process of that, my whole family came down with COVID and I lost 2 family members. So then mentally, I was not set on this. So when I finally did go to the city, again, they said that they printed me a form and said I could not reopen this permit or renew it. They said that that had to be done by the contractor. They printed a form for me with the information of whoever the original contractor was and told me that I could try to locate this contractor because in order for this permit to be renewed, it has to be signed by the contractor or a new contractor, which I don't have funds to hire a new contractor to do a permit that was left to expire. So actually, Your Honor, I just don't know what to do at this point. I have all these fees occurring on me, and financially, I'm just not able to do this. So I just don't know what else to do at this point.
I will request to
Interject real quick.
And they told me to contact someone named Pascarello.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh,
Castro.
sorry.
I think I swore in Tasha.
He needs to be sworn.
Do you swear to tell the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
In extenuating circumstances like this and the hardships that she's had, the permits from 2005, our main concern is to make sure that it receives a final inspection. So I could send an inspector out there to satisfy that requirement so she doesn't have to go through all this paperwork log jam that she's going through. So if we could grant her an extension, give her time for us to meet and arrange for that inspector to go out there and take a look at the roof and see that it complies as best as possible because the roof is now 17 years old. So, but we'll work things out with her.
All right, okay. Fortunately, it looks like you're now in touch with the right person.
Okay.
I'm going to grant a 28-day extension.
Okay.
And stay the fines as of this date. Okay. And stay in touch with this gentleman. You might want to speak to him now.
Okay. All right, thank you, Judge.
Get this resolved.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Page 26, property address 3209 Northeast 36th Street. Owner Francis Terrace, Inc. Case number BE 22010011. Notice posted at the property on 1/22/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed a 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist. Grant a 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
At the bottom of page 26, property address 3300 North Ocean Boulevard, case number BE 21090235. Owner Legion LLC, Greek Islands Taverna. Notice posted at the property on 1/22/22, posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed a 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist. Grant a 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 27, property address 3600 North Ocean Boulevard, case number BE 211-00156. Owner, Corinthos Properties LLC. Notice posted at the property on 1/22/22. Notice posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed a 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist, and I grant a 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Property address 3760 Southwest 1st Street, 1-6. Owner, One Kingdom LLC. Case number BE 211-00070. Notice posted at the property on 1/18/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The required safety inspection report hasn't been approved. The city is asking for the owner to come into compliance by submitting the report in the next 42 days and a fine of $100 a day thereafter.
All right, I'm going to grant a 42-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Property address 4819 Northeast 21st Ave, 1-9. Owner, Ann Elliott Revocable Trust, case number BE 21090296. Notice posted at the property on 1/17/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed a 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist. Grant a 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Page 28, property address 6500 North Federal Highway. Owner, Rubenstein, Florida Property LLC, in care of Smoky Bones. Case number BE 21090318. Notice posted at the property on 1/17/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed a 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist. Grant a 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Page 29, property address 6811 Northwest 15th Ave. Owner, South Executive Park Holdings LLC. Case number BE 21090219. Notice posted at the property on 1/8/22. Posted at City Hall 2/3/22.
Inspector Suarez presented for Chief Oliva. The report was submitted, but it failed a 180-day extension and $100 a day thereafter.
Okay, I find the violation does exist. Grant a 180-day extension, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Page 31, Chief George Oliva, property address 2404 Northwest 20th Street. Owner, New Covenant Deliverance Cathedral, Inc. Case number CE 120220033. This case was first heard on 4/2/15 to comply by 9/29/15. One section not complied at $100. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $198,000, which continues to accrue.
City's request is granted.
At the bottom of page 31, Inspector Leonardo Martinez, property address 1630 North Dixie Highway. Owner, IC Holdings LLC, case number BE 21060143. This case was first heard on 10/14/21 to comply by 12/16/21. One section not complied at $50. City is requesting to impose the full amount of $3,100, which continues to accrue.
The city's request is granted.
Page. Okay, Your Honor, this concludes. Oh, I'm sorry. At this time, all the cases that are listed on page 36, we would like to have entered into the record as closed, complied, or withdrawn.
Granted.
Thank you. This concludes our February 17th, 2022 special magistrate hearing for the building division. Thank you.